The system is not working. Ambulance service is not safe, and volunteer firemen are here in uniform to demonstrate that point. In Surrey, it's not unusual to wait an hour for an ambulance to arrive. Happened last week to a stroke victim. If someone has a car accident and you don't stop to help them, you can be criminally charged. And we need improvements to be made. Trading hospital beds across this island or the elimination of island-wide hospital access is not the solution to a better Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Since 1996, the health budget has grown from $280 million to a whopping $570 million. $11 million on the Prince County Hospital, $22 million on all rural hospitals, $50 million on all off-island transfers. That's $80 million. The other $40 million is spent on everything else in the health budget. That's right, $1 billion. Billion with a B. Despite the successful growth of revenue, which all islanders should be proud of, health services in rural PEI have been cut. The $80 million is not the problem. The solution is to be found in the $500 million. That is why we say there is an addiction to debt-fueled centralization on this island. And the root of that addiction is the prejudice to those living outside the center of power. The addiction to debt-fueled centralization and its supporting prejudice has led us away from the basic values of the recognition of the worth of all individuals and the needs of communities. You're defined by where you live, not who you are. We are told by the Minister of Health that we are lucky to have our hospitals, and I say it's neither luck nor generosity. We pay for them, and it makes sense to have them island-wide. The issue isn't revenues, it's priorities. It's time to rebalance priorities to reflect the reality of the most rural province in Canada. It's time for the falsehood to end that island-wide people live on money provided by the center of power. I have a phone book. Take out the yellow pages. Take out the government pages. Here's Charlottetown. Here's the rest of the island. This has more people in it than this. And we matter. Over 60% of federal transfer payments to PEI are generated by people living island-wide, per capita and by tax, sales tax, and every other tax. We may not have oil, but we have an economic engine called island-wide PEI. The island-wide population does not live on the center of power. The center of power lives on the bounty of the island-wide population. Despite being an economic engine of growth, a pollster, Don Mills, who lives in Halifax and is employed by goodness knows who on this island, wrote an article called Too Rural for Our Own Good. He says people should not be subsidized where they live. I disagree. I think we should continue to subsidize our cities. We need healthy cities. The point is, the island-wide community need not be eliminated to do so. Priorities need to be rebalanced. Eliminating island-wide health access will simply destroy communities and then destroy PEI.
Yes.
On this island, there is a wall that divides us, and it needs to be torn down. Senior bureaucrats have spoken publicly about moving rural people to the center of the island. We know about oppressive government. We know about the Acadian deportation, the Highland clearances, the Irish famine, and we know about forcing the Mi'kmaq to live on reserves. Forced deportation has never been right, and it's not right today. People don't want to leave our island-wide communities. We want to live in them. It's time to end the imbalance of discrimination and the prejudice of centralization. No longer is it to be assumed that certain people on PEI must sit on the designated seats at the back of the bus. It's time for all islanders to share the seats fairly and equally. On our island, there is a wall that divides us, another wall that divides us, and it too needs to be torn down. It's time islanders free themselves from the prison of politics, patronage, and party membership.
Absolutely.
In being involved with this issue, we wonder if the decision makers know the issue or don't care about the issue. Well, the Premier is a clever man, and I know this because I checked the legislative record, and I have it here. The transcript is in the press kits. Copies are being handed out here today, and all of you will receive a copy in our information circular that will be delivered to every home island-wide. Judging by his remarks as the leader of the opposition, the Premier would have been an excellent leader for island-wide hospital access because he knows the issues. The Premier is a man of understanding. As leader of the opposition, he understood the value of emergency care in rural hospitals, the importance of ambulance service, the impact of rural closure on the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and on the whole island. He understood the value of rural communities. I quote him on the closure of rural emergency services as the leader of the opposition. Quote, "Everything we see about this is confusing because government is unprepared. The government is breaking promises. The government is breaking commitments. They're breaking sacred promises made by this Premier numerous times in the past, and the Premier has no defense of this because he did say that he would do it," unquote. The Premier is a man of promise, and I know this because I kept an election circular. Actually, it was delivered to me. And the Premier promised that his government is committed significantly improving access to family doctors and health professionals. The Premier promised, quote, "to support the effective operation of all our community hospitals and meeting the medical needs of their residents."
Yeah.
He promised public consultation on health care, increased ambulance care in our rural communities, and a doctor for every islander. At St. Mary's Hall, he promised to reopen emergency response to Surrey. Mr. Premier, you stand before us today a changed man. And we would like to see that man of understanding and of promise return. In conclusion, we are here today from all across this island to lend our voices to stop the proposal to eliminate island-wide hospital access. We are here from all across this island to join hands and have the government enter into consultation and dialogue with island-wide hospital access and the people of PEI to create island-wide hospital access that is based on medical and economic evidence to meet our health needs, to meet our island-wide community needs, and to be economically sustainable. We are here today because we want good government, whereby, regardless of the ruling party, the highest priority is the worth of all individuals and the well-being of all communities island-wide.